Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to delve back into some of our stick fighting curriculum that we work with. And I'm going to give you 5 mistakes that I see beginners and people make. Check it out. So one of the first mistakes that I see a lot of, especially when we deal with those of us that have striking art backgrounds, is the wrong structure. You'll see it a lot. They'll have the stick in the hand. They've got it in their primary hand, which is the right hand. Okay, that's for me because I'm right-handed. Left hand if you're left-handed. And you'll see that they have the wrong foot forward because that's how we train with our striking arts. We put our power hand in the rear so we get that real good twist and that real good power into it. The problem when you're stick fighting is that leaves roughly half of my body outside and in front of my blocking apparatus. Now I can't stop anything that's coming up here. I'm behind all the time. You got to switch your feet. So when I'm stick fighting, I want the same hand, same foot in the front as my stick is at. If you're left-handed, that means your left hand is going to be in front and your left foot. And if you're right-handed, your right hand and your right foot. This way, I'm always behind my fence here. When we teach Muay Thai, we talk about our foot jab being our fence. Keeps people at that distance. Same thing here. This is my fence to protect me from the person in front of me. If I've got that in the back, I literally leave my live hand and my opposite leg out in the open where they're going to get hit easy. It's a lot harder to defend. Same hand, same side, and now I can keep all of that behind, no matter which one of the blocks I'm doing, what attacks I'm doing, it all stays right there behind my fence. So the second thing I see a lot of is improper grip. And I give you the air quotes. I think Joey from Friends finally figured out what that meant. However, if you're looking at your grip, I prefer, there are styles that teach you to grab the bottom of the stick, no puño. I prefer to have about a fist length from the bottom, right there, and have that little bit of puño at the bottom. That allows me to strike in close. It allows for gripping and pulling and twist when we're in really close. Doesn't do me any good way out of distance. I can't start from out here, try to strike, but when we're in tight, we're working these tight things here. It allows for me to take these, hit with just the body. I can strike that, I can hit that, I can hook a hand, hook a neck, and pull into my techniques. Really just, for me, that really enjoy just having that on there. The second thing we see where grip is concerned is the death grip. The white knuckles, especially for new people. They want to grip this thing as hard as they can so it doesn't come out of the hand. Not only does that slow you down, but it also stiffens everything going up the arm, and it's very hard to get good, solid strikes. Keep that just like about an average handshake. Lets that stick really move, lets you turn, keeps you loose and relaxed, and gives you that whip you need when you're working with your stick, all because the grip is correct. Don't give it the knuckles of death. Just nice, relaxed, firm handshakes type. Let your stick move. So the third one I see a lot of, and again, especially when we're dealing with newer people, is wrong focus. When they're doing, especially when we're doing drills with partners, they don't pull the stick through, they hit his stick, and they aim at the stick. And there's a difference between pulling through when you do a basic X and hitting his stick when you do the basic X. If I just hit, and I haven't, and I'm not talking about doing witticks and such like this, I'm talking about they go 1, 2, 1, 2. Instead of pulling through and letting it follow through in the correct motion. The problem with hitting a stick is, number one, it overextends my arm, which once you get into soft stick sparring, you're going to learn that thing gets hit a lot if I overextend. Number two, it doesn't put my body behind it, so I'm losing power. And number three, it doesn't set me up for responses at other parts. I can hit and hit. I can hit and hit. I can 1, 2. We can hit low, hit middle. I can't do that if I'm aiming stick. I end up with this choppy kind of movement that is not really efficient. And that's what we're looking for, is the efficiency of not aiming for the stick, but aiming for the target. Remember that you're replicating a bladed weapon with this. I can get away with, when we're doing this, I'm trying to use a bladed weapon that doesn't really, you might get a good cut on a decently sharp sword, but I'm looking for something that will slice when I pull. And to do that, you've got to have the correct pull through, the right focus, not on the stick, but on the target. I'm not aiming to hit a stick, I'm aiming to hit him. And that's what we're looking for. Make sure your focus is right. That brings me to number 4. Number 4 is focusing on speed instead of structure. And what we see here a lot of, and yes, eventually you want to be able to do your drills, you want to do them quickly, and you want to be able to work at speed. But you can't do that from the beginning. It's really easy to disguise sloppiness with my speed. We see the same thing in jiu-jitsu when, and I don't care what what your theory is on gi versus no gi in jiu-jitsu. I'm a firm believer that everybody should start out with the gi. The gi makes you technical because they can grab the cloth, you can't move certain directions, whereas you can get really fast in a no gi. You've got to train no gi as well, gi guys. Don't get all excited and think that Will's saying you don't have to train no gi. You do. Because it's a faster game, it's a slicker game. You don't have the handles, so people pull out of arm bars and other techniques that if you're not used to that, you'll lose it every time, and you've got to have that knowledge too. But if all you do is no gi, you don't have that friction, you don't learn that friction, so your structure can suffer from it. Same thing here. You start working with just a lot of speed, and this is what we see, and they're missing the hip turns, they're missing their footwork involved in it, they're missing where the body and why specific things work, because the body is involved in it, and it's all disguised in this sloppiness of just going fast. So take your time with it. Get yourself understanding how the body works while you're working your techniques, so that when you do speed it up and you're working faster, you're not doing so with just a bunch of disguised slop. And the last one for the day, the 5th one, is just not enough shadow boxing. What? Shadow boxing with stick sparring? Yes. In traditional martial arts, we called it kata, kuin, whatever you want to call it, your forms. That was what we did, and you would do your movements, and everybody would look at you in the front yard and think, that's a weird dance he's doing. It's the same kind of thing with the stick. I still need to do some type of shadow boxing with my stick, because here's what happens. If all you ever do is a couple of drills, and we do long range sombrado, and all we do is this. You notice that I'm standing in the exact same spot. It's good to understand distance when I'm working with my partner. What it's bad on is that I have no real movement. Yes, the one footer's moving, okay, blah, blah, blah. This is not movement, and that's not real when you're talking about self-defense or on the battlefield. I've got to be able to do this while we're moving around and making real movement into some, and if I've got another person working this with me, it's even better. Because now we have these things that we're having to do, and we're making mistakes, and we're learning how to work through those, all while being in movement. And that's what's important, especially when you talk about stick fighting, because this moves way too fast to stand in one spot and try to fight like that. Doesn't work. Eventually, you've got to put some movement into it. You've got to put some footwork into it. You got to put some aliveness into it. All right, guys, just a quick video today on the 5 major mistakes that I see when people are learning to stick fight. Pay attention to those, work on those things. It'll make your stick fighting better. That in turn will make your stand-up better because it's much faster than what the fist and feet can go. It will make your grappling better because you're going to get understandings of angles and turns that you wouldn't be able to do otherwise. And you're going to have much better results from your stick fight training if you avoid those 5 mistakes. You can always find us on all of your favorite social media platforms. You can see us at CenturionHoldingsLLC.net. You can always contact us at CenturionHoldingsLLC@gmail.com. You better make it quick because my spring seminar schedule is already starting to fill up. You can check the QR code right there. We'll see you next time.